The Awakening of the Chosen. Hello, Chosen One. Yes, you. You didn't stumble upon this by chance. Something far greater than coincidence has brought you here, and deep down, you feel it, don't you? This is a message meant for those who sense they're different, who know they're destined for something greater. There's a power within you, a calling, a truth waiting to awaken, and this video holds the key to unlocking it. But here's the secret. You must watch until the very end. Every word, every moment, is designed to guide you closer to your destiny. Are you ready to step into who you truly are? To embrace the path the universe has been preparing for you all along? Then let's begin. Your journey starts now, particularly for those who came into this video apparently by accident. Why you are here is a topic worth much thought. In spirituality, however, coincidences are frequently signals from the universe pointing us in the direction of what we need to see, hear, or experience. It's fascinating how many folks who come across our message feel as if a more higher goal is under play. It's not just about looking for enjoyment or occupying time. It's about an inner calling, a sense that further exploration is waiting. This message may really speak to those who have always felt dislocated in the world, as if they did not belong on this physical realm in its whole. We have a natural feeling of being linked to something beyond than our human comprehension. Perhaps you have a faint voice within you, the one that tells you there is something more, that you are on a special trip. Many have throughout time expressed their yearning for meaning and purpose beyond the obvious. Actually, our spiritual growth depends on this search in great part. Regarding the spiritual calling, it is also crucial to realize that it is not a guarantee of fame or ego elevation. Quite the reverse. It's about discovering a greater good that advances not only personal development, but also that of the society. It's about how our own development is naturally connected to the condition of the surroundings. Our relationship with the divine may help us to be aware, active participants in improving our surrounds. Taking answer to this call is assuming the duty of leading a meaningful life. Know that these feelings are more than simply physical ones for those of you whose heart races upon hearing these words or experiences a shiver down your spine. They are signals that this message is reaching an inner reality, a truth you may already know, but have not completely woken to until now. Sensing this resonance invites you to go back to the core of your particular path and rediscover who you truly are. Historically, persons regarded as selected by the wisdom of the ancients were identified not because of their purposeful quest of excellence, but rather because their very nature drew excellence. They were and still are the visionaries in their communities, the healers, the guides. Not because of any outside title or respect, but rather because of the inherent and unbroken relationship they represented with the divine. Far from random, their life events were precisely timed to guide them along a route requiring humility and courage, one headed towards something far larger than they could understand on their own. Realizing you are selected is, finally, a call to rise. Not as one event, but rather as a constant stream of spiritual connection and self-discovery. We suggest a sequence of insights that will help you identify the 7 indicators of this strong connection, so you may travel your own road with greater confidence and clarity. Our experiences will help you to not only confirm your goal, but also increase your trust on this spiritual road. This technique helps one to be open to lifelong learning and discovery, rather than to have all the answers. In the hope that every one of you may discover what speaks most to your soul and with the truths that live inside each of us. This road is one that we appreciate and are committed to travel. Remember as you start your inner trip that every action you do invites change. This metamorphosis is about living with greater authenticity and in line with your essence, not just about who you are. Not as an imposition, but rather as a natural flow of life. It is the realization of your actual potential and the bravery to show it in the world. This is both personal and group as you discover your road, you naturally emanate this vitality to everyone around you. Hence, spiritual journey is a road of both contemplation and outside action. Examining this old information not only sharpens your individual abilities, but also helps the total to be improved. Every personal insight sets off waves of influence that transcend you and enables spiritual development to reach those who have not yet woken to this knowledge. Though nevertheless very fulfilling, the responsibility accompanying this awareness is great. Deeply involved in this process, it is essential to have the... Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with The Path of the Chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. Humility to realize that everyone travels this road and is a student. There will always be fresh things to learn and fresh approaches to apply what we have acquired regardless of our advancement. To keep developing, one must be open to the future, responsive in mind and heart. This transparency helps you to welcome every event as a natural part of your road, driven by the realization that every moment is a fresh chance for personal development. Over this series, Honoring the Selected Ones, we will investigate the many indicators showing up in their life. These indicators indicate the possibilities of who you can become, not determine who you are. I want you to be present and alert, looking with an inquisitive and real eye for what these symptoms could signify for your own road. Everybody has special talents waiting to be expressed. It is only by means of this discovery that we discover our actual calling. One should underline that nobody has to follow this road by themselves. Connected by the quest for truth and significance, there is an unseen network of like-minded minds supporting one another in the trials and discoveries that develop. Sharing your experiences and lessons with others not only confirms your own insights, but also motivates others to pursue their own inner wake-ups. Walking together, learning and developing in unison magnifies the spiritual trip. As we keep exploring, let yourself welcome the wonder and beauty of your own human experience. Acknowledge that you co-create the reality you live in, and that your decisions and intentions could unexpectedly and favorably change the planet. Discover delight in the little everyday marvels and revelations that show themselves in calm times and introspection. Every action done on the spiritual road therefore becomes a harmonic dance between revelation and creativity. Following this calling lets you resolve to take the required actions to completely realize your innermost truth and live in sync with it. I want you to discover the clarity and inspiration you need to keep on your inner journey as we tour this eye-opening series together. May your insights not only brighten your life, but also clear the road for all others who join this quest of learning and spiritual connection. Knowing the Selected Ones calls for a vision that transcends the surface gloss and labels society sometimes bestows upon us. We are not discussing people who are seen as better than others or who have some kind of higher position. Actually, the Selected Ones are those who, in a deep sense, are in line with a divine nature and a global truth beyond the boundaries of simple human goals. Among many other names, these spirits were termed prophets, sages, mystics, healers, in different cultures and historical eras. Still, the idea of being chosen is not based on divine choice as is commonly believed. The cosmos moves naturally, and it calls these people to awaken to a bigger purpose. The selected typically wakes in the middle of extreme agony or in front of obstacles seemingly insurmountable. Regardless of the challenges they may face or how beyond the traditional road their journey seems, it is incredible how these people find the confidence to answer such calls. The selected are people who commit their life to a goal benefiting the society and feel a strong transcendence beyond their personal interests. And even if they could have various designations, these individuals show always universal and timeless traits. Among these common qualities, we discover a strong inner understanding that keeps influencing your choices and behavior. Their life is driven by this feeling of purpose, which guides them along a road not just rich in meaning, but also in contribution to the overall good. Practically, individuals selected assume responsibilities as spiritual guides and healing facilitators under the conviction that their life has consequences that transcend what would be seen in the physical world. Still, there are challenges in this call to serve a higher goal. On the other hand, it is closely related to great and constant obstacles that mold the road of the selected one. Those selected live experiences of a depth few get the chance to see in their own life tales while traveling this route, marked by sacrifices and unquestionable tenacity. Though it is precisely this unusual path that lets them touch lives in ways that seem miraculous or even impossible to those who are still just engaged in the tangible, this journey questions the norm and often goes beyond the boundaries that society has established as safe or acceptable. Those selected so become guiding lights, guided by principles and truths higher than themselves, rather than by purposefully pursuing a position of leadership or influence. And by doing this, they encourage those around to likewise follow and answer the call of their own spiritual paths. This sharing of development and discovery generates a dynamic network of communal awareness that echoes and stretches well beyond any physical boundaries or restrictions. Those selected in this relentless pursuit for truth and service discover a personal fulfillment unique and a serenity from the confidence of living in line with their own mission. Their motivation changes the inside of those who come across them rather than just the outside. Every connection, every conversation becomes a chance for transformation for other souls to identify themselves in this grand cosmic dance and embrace the invitation to reach their limitless potential. It is amazing to see how the selected ones, in spite of hardship, keep an unbroken spirit, therefore serving as living models of the human ability to match the divine. This illustration shows what it really means to live with purpose and gracefully and tenaciously handle obstacles. And by means of these illustrations, we provide a conduit for us all to interact with this global source of knowledge and love. The road the selected follows is really defined by this link with global knowledge and love. They naturally realize that the boundaries of the material world cannot define their actual purpose of life. Rather, their reality is spun with strands of spiritual knowledge and empathy, which the events and difficulties they encounter frequently support. This knowledge helps them to work in such a manner that their ideas and deeds are always in line with a greater good, therefore transcending the constraints of popular view. The selected do not see themselves as individuals who have to be mindlessly obeyed or as having perfect knowledge. Above all, they respect humility and always be willing to grow from their own experiences and from those of others. Their openness enables them to grow constantly, therefore fostering a cycle of learning and instruction that enhances not just their own, but also the lives of those who are fortunate enough to come across them. This puts you in a special position to be real friends and guides to many looking souls. Their choice does not imply they are exempt from questions or challenges. Though they experience uncertainty like everyone else, their approach to these events sets them apart. They see difficulties as chances for development and realignment with their actual path. This viewpoint provides an inner power that many would find uncommon, but which everyone ready to start the road of self-discovery can absolutely reach. Those selected have as their shared goal increasing communal awareness and enabling mankind to uncover its own spiritual potentials. Rather than following a set road, they reveal by their own life the transforming power of love and truth. This goal shows itself in daily acts of compassion and kindness as much as in grand speeches. They are therefore living models of the divine that the most basic aspects of daily existence allow one to detect. The selected reminds us always that every one of us has the ability to fit this greater calling. They educate us that the spiritual road is an open invitation to everyone who want to discover inner peace and lead a life of meaningful service, not just for a few. Walking along them, we discover that the spiritual path is a dance between the inner self and the great world, an ongoing cycle of giving and receiving, of instruction and learning that never stops. The simplicity of the message of the selected ones is its charm. Rigid dogmas and elaborate ceremonies are not necessary. The real spiritual secret is the capacity to love and live totally. Actually, every one of us has a latent relationship with the divine inside us, just waiting to be awakened to some degree. Perhaps one of the best presents we could provide the planet and each other is realizing and fostering this link. The path of the selected reminds us that we always have the capacity to start over, therefore building a bright future full of opportunities independent of our history or the challenges that can arise. As we accept this reality, we join a greater movement, a wave of spiritual change capable of rejuvenating the entire fabric of mankind. And so, progressively, each of us is invited to hear our own inner voice, to dance to the knowledge of the chosen, and to line up with the cosmic symphony that relentlessly brings us back to love. The universal qualities of the chosen are amazing and inspire us to explore a better knowledge of what it is to live with spiritual connection and intention. Despite their different paths and particular expression of their goal, each selected one has a fundamental quality: great inner understanding. This kind of insight is unique in that it frequently contradicts conventional sense and does not seek outside validation. Those selected have a strong and mysterious relationship with something outstanding from a young age. This quiet link helps them even in the middle of anarchy or when the surroundings appear unintelligible. Their urge for a life with meaning comes from this sensitivity. They naturally realize their existence goes beyond the traditional definition of success or personal accomplishment. Though at first it seems nebulous, their goal starts to become clear as they encounter transforming hurdles. This is the road that will help you to clarify your goal and reach inner serenity. The almost natural and strong empathy the selected ones have is another amazing quality. It is a capacity to relate to the sorrow and delight of others in a manner beyond conventional wisdom. As they are very sensitive to the energy surrounding them, this increased empathy may ironically cause emotional overload. Still, this sensitivity is a potent tool for connection and healing rather than a flaw. It lets them provide real knowledge and encouragement, therefore having long-lasting, transforming effects on the life they come into contact with. Unquestionably, the honesty they exude comes from a place of great empathy and knowledge. Still, it's a frequent mistake to link being a chosen one with a life of luxury. Actually, this road calls more responsibility and usually presents significant obstacles. The road of the chosen one calls for actual humility and a never-ending quest of knowledge and personal development via hardship. Though challenging, these encounters are essential to help you to clear your actual calling and equip you spiritually to carry out your life purpose. These difficulties help people to really define themselves by means of adversity, which gives them strength and turns them into chances for development and direction. The selected ones are those who can turn negative events into insightful teachings. They do not live free from challenges. This capacity to draw on difficult events to develop not only helps one personally, but also enables them to inspire and mentor others along the road. Resilience to find purpose in the middle of hardships, and bravery to confront suffering demand of both. Still, this same bravery helps them to leave a legacy of love and knowledge that speaks well beyond the here and now. The selected ones motivate everyone around them to search and pay attention to their own spiritual calling as they travel this road. Not just by words, but also by deeds that mirror their core principles and convictions. They are lighthouses of inspiration and hope. The selected ones are really defined by their dedication to personal and group spiritual development. They demonstrate how not only feasible, but also rather fulfilling it is to live in line with a greater good. This dedication enables its universal qualities to touch the core of mankind by transcending civilizations, environments, and periods. Those selected on this road of self-discovery and service encounter one single serenity. Knowing that every experience is a required component of the cosmic dance, this serenity is a peaceful acceptance of one's journey rather than a lack of conflict. They ask us to consider our own road forward and realize that every one of us has this ability for connection and direction inside. We join a magnificent tapestry of spiritual awakening in which every thread creates a fresh tale of love, change, and joy as we embrace these facets of our existence. This tapestry of spiritual awareness ties us all together in an unseen network where every one of us adds unique color and texture. The selected ones inspire us to find and embrace these traits within ourselves by use of their model of existence. They inspire us to explore the great terrain of our own spiritual capacities and go beyond the constraints placed by outside expectations. This search is meant to lead to a place of calm sincerity where every one of us may really live in line with our essence, not to satisfy our ego. With their lives of purpose, the selected ones remind us that living in line with an inner calling has quiet beauty. Your satisfaction comes from living your beliefs. They are not concerned with matching their life with accepted criteria of success. This helps us to see that actual success is, in reality, rather personal and non-transferable, and that it is closely related to our capacity to communicate our natural purpose on the planet. It's about the capacity to significantly and favorably impact the life of those around us, not about outstanding accomplishments or outside validation. Following the example of the selected ones helps us to appreciate times of contemplation and stillness, which help us to recover with our essence and sense the whispers of our inner self. These priceless events usually provide us insights that help us on our own spiritual path. Constant self-awareness, respect of our feelings and intuition helps us to approach our own particular knowledge. The chosen remind us that we follow a natural flow, leading us to reach our maximum potential by means of our own inner compass. It's easy to lose that inner voice in the dynamic environment we live in and get caught in daily diversions. But it is just amid these disorderly surroundings that the qualities of the selected might act as a continual reminder that actual direction comes from within. By developing these qualities in our own life, we not only change our own viewpoint, but also help to improve the environment in which we live, therefore enabling others to also wake to their own realities. Inspired by the universal qualities of the chosen ones, the adventure of living our own truth is a continual road trip that offers not just personal development, but also a closer relationship with the earth and others we encounter along the path. We let ourselves enjoy the beauty of the moment and the interconnection of all things as we bravely welcome this road. This increased awareness helps us to perceive ourselves as co-creators of this amazing environment in which every action, word, and idea has the ability to produce a tsunami of positive change. This understanding helps us to live deliberately and acknowledge our ability to influence both our individual and group fate. It is an invitation to deliberately join the new period of awakening, in which every one of us, by means of finding and realizing our unique qualities, helps to guide the spiritual development of all people. Living honesty and purpose makes us change agents not just in our own life, but also throughout the whole fabric of reality we live in. Thus, inspired by the special qualities of the selected ones, we are driven to delve within, to investigate the timeless beauty of our souls, and to help in the magnificent tapestry that combines the aspirations of the cosmos. Every one of us is maybe a chosen one, naturally able to live in line with universal love and wisdom, thereby enabling the manifestation of this greatness in the physical world via our everyday activities. One might consider the selected ones as reflections of what every one of us can do. Driven by the example of others who have previously traveled the road, we go together toward a life of great significance and direction. almost like a whisper waking us to a deeper reality, a purpose of life beyond what is obvious. The spiritual calling may show itself in unexpected and subtle forms. Many of us start to see this calling via a great discontent with daily life, that persistent sense of something missing. This restlessness urges us to start a rigorous quest for purpose and for responses ordinary life cannot provide. This results in a search that defies easy definition by traditional standards and is often revealed in little, apparently random occurrences that, on further inspection, appear to be too intimately linked to be mere coincidences. Unquestionably, the synchronicity of these events is the cosmos at work, softly directing us toward our actual calling. Thinking about this helps us to evaluate our degree of openness to welcome the future. Sometimes choosing to heed that calling requires letting go of what we know, needing relentless inner strength and trust in the road ahead, even if it isn't yet obvious. It's about learning to live with the flow, keep true to the truth within of us, and believe that every action advances us toward our big destiny. For me, among the most wonderful aspects of the spiritual calling is this road of surrender. Following this road, difficulties are not just roadblocks, but also necessary components of the development trip. These challenging times seem to me like professors in disguise delivering courses we could not have had access to. They are like the fire that shapes metal, required to mold the compassion and resilience building power inside us. Difficulties really help us to be ready for our spiritual mission. Every loss and disappointment cleanses our essence and strengthens our core, therefore increasing our awareness of our own inner power. Like the old myths and adventure stories we read or hear throughout our life, I see the path of the chosen one as a heroic one. This analogy presents a rich viewpoint. The chosen one, like the hero, starts his path in an ordinary world, but is quickly summoned to a challenging mission, full with events that change him into something else. Allies assist the hero down this path. He meets obstacles. At last, he returns to his own with a great personal change and a fresh knowledge of his strength and purpose. All of this helps me to consider how much our life resembles heroic narratives in which every one of us has the ability to welcome our spiritual calling. Like the hero, we discover our own allies, encounter anxieties, and under trying circumstances, awakenings that lead to a better knowledge of the world and ourselves. This blending of experiences, both illuminating and demanding, helps us to move toward ongoing spiritual development. It reminds us strongly that by responding to the call, we are not only improving our personal life, but also helping something more than ourselves to grow. Deeper along this spiritual road, we discover that every step has significance and advances both our spiritual development personally and illogically. It is abundantly evident from considering the spiritual calling and its delicate character that this is not a road for the timid. Following the calling requires great bravery, particularly if it leads us into uncharted and demanding areas beyond our comfort zone. Especially when challenges appear to overwhelm our emotional and spiritual power, we sometimes question whether we are really on the correct road. Still, every difficulty confronted forms a pillar in developing soul and character. Experience helps us to realize that the cosmos delivers messages and lessons rather than coincidences. These courses push us to see the world and ourselves from different angles. They urge us to be ready to welcome the change that is presented to us, to let go and open ourselves to ongoing education. The link between the spiritual calling and the hero's path offers us an interesting viewpoint on the way life turns out. Seeing the stories and legends that have followed us from time immemorial helps us to understand how much we may learn. Similar hardships have befall heroes and heroines, and their tales help us to locate a part of ourselves mirrored in them. This universal pattern of the hero's path attests to the common human experience of the search of meaning and conquering obstacles. At every turn on this road, we develop abilities to not only meet our own obstacles, but also motivate and assist others on their own paths. One of the best blessings of vocation is this capacity to establish profound spiritual connection with others, as it allows us to develop our awareness together. Many of us find that in answer to this calling, we not only satisfy an inner need, but also help others seeking knowledge or inspiration by acting as a model or guide. Surrender to the spiritual calling then marks a turning point from a personal search to a larger contribution to the world. Connected by mutual knowledge of the value of leading an actual and deliberate life, and by shared experiences, we stroll together. It is in this relationship that we find our actual power and the ability to bring about good change, not just in our own life, but also in the life of those we come across en route. At last, when we consider all of this, we come to see the need of being open and responsive to what the universe offers us. The spiritual calling is essentially an invitation to go into the recesses of our souls and acknowledge the transforming ability every one of us has. We are led into an awakening that surpasses the usual as we accept this calling and reach a level of being where we realize not just our purpose, but also the real serenity and delight that comes from leading a life really in line with our nature. The road of spiritual development is much influenced by the difficulties in our life, as they show themselves not only as tests, but also as strong transformational and self-discovery accelerators. When we consider the selected people to follow higher spiritual routes, we come to see that their hardships are not little. These events show up as identity crises, major losses, medical problems, or moral conundrums, each of which shapes a vital element of the soul and lets it show more naturally. Fascinatingly, there is a renaissance chance in every conflict encountered. By means of this process of overcoming obstacles, the selected might grow to have a more sympathetic and thorough awareness of human experience, therefore enabling their more major and compassive service to others. At the core of the spiritual road is the conviction that the soul chooses before to incarnate, therefore defining certain problems to support its own development and learning. From this edifying viewpoint, every difficulty is a component of a greater, deliberate design. Nothing happens at random. Therefore, every challenge presents a chance to shed elements of the ego that no longer serve, therefore enabling the actual self to manifest more powerfully and precisely in line with the mission and purpose of the soul. Acceptance and submission to the process being experienced have inherent power, even if at first this may seem like a difficult or even unjust choreography. The capacity to submit to obstacles teaches a very strong lesson. Accepting is not synonym with inactivity. Rather, it is an active act of bravery and confidence in the course of life. While the selected ones display natural faith in global flow by embracing the hidden lesson in every difficulty, suffering tends to extend when the others reject the inevitable. Unlike resignation, this active acceptance allows the viewpoint of ongoing development instead of paralysis in the face of unchangeable circumstances. The selected ones develop a certain knowledge that cannot be obtained only from books because they surpass these difficulties. Experience develops knowledge that greatly enhances its capacity to lead, heal, and motivate. Their spiritual path is continuously rejuvenated and developed as live witnesses of change via acceptance and resilience. This enables individuals to act in charitable ways, not just for their personal good, but also to nourish and uplifting others around by. Though they are clearly difficult and demanding on the spiritual path of a chosen, the opportunities for development and illumination abound. When they are bravely confronted, they provide a means for us to become more suited versions of ourselves, more equipped to line us with our actual calling. This is a profoundly fulfilling voyage that broadens the scope of the spiritual call, therefore empowering the selected to help the collective to be elevated, not just on a path of personal development. The difficulties are ultimately the furnace through which knowledge is formed. Contribution to the world naturally follows from the real, enlightened, compassionate person who answers this call. We are always realizing that every challenge has seeds of our spiritual development. It's incredible how this process of facing and conquering offers us enduring and changing lessons that will help us to shape ourselves in ways we may not be able to first see. This is a universal truth resonating throughout all spiritual societies and traditions across time. Every obstacle presents an internal conflict that also offers a chance for us to examine closely and better grasp what drives us, what provides us peace, and what is absolutely vital to our pleasure and satisfaction. Often, this type of forced reflection helps us to discard parts of our ego that no longer serve our better good. Apart from personal development, the selected ones who go through these obstacles frequently find themselves in a special position to assist others going through comparable situations. They become spiritual guides, not by theory, but rather by means of living experience, direct knowledge acquired along the road. Those in the early phases of their own spiritual travels may find great benefit from this kind of direction. Challenges therefore serve as intense spiritual training, arming the selected ones to answer their call in more efficient and powerful forms. Overcoming hardship not only helps one develop individually, but also makes one more suited to lead and serve the surrounding community in a manner that advances healing and group change. We cannot undervalue the testimony of those who have evolved masters in the art of acceptance and resilience. Their tales and disclosures help us all to accept our own open arms problems by building not just one, but also a mutual support system. As each individual touched by the obstacles and successes of others wakes to their own inherent power and potential change, this river of inspiration fuels the never-ending cycle of development and spiritual rejuvenation. Challenges are, after all, not just roadblocks. These are veiled gifts that let us remake ourselves and validate what we are here to perform. They inspire us of our shared capacity for illumination and our common humanity. Each of us welcomes our own path and becomes a lighthouse of hope for others, guiding the road with knowledge acquired throughout our own crossings. Important turning points in a person's path, meant to serve a higher goal, are the identification and integration of spiritual abilities. These abilities, which show themselves in diverse ways, are input gateways for a deep connection with the cosmos and the own divine nature, not just plain skills. These talents enable the selected one to carry out their life purpose in a deeper and more effective manner, as if they were a subtle map to direct the path. Every spiritual talent is different and may show itself as highly developed empathy, deliberate intuition, healing ability, prophetic vision, or a perception beyond the ordinary physical senses. Fascinatingly, some people know their talents from early youth, while others find them unexpectedly show up in later phases of life. Whatever the timing of this revelation, the development of these abilities always entails a combination of excitement and struggle, requiring the selected one conscientious responsibility and judgment on their application. It is not a process finished overnight to combine these talents into daily life. It is a dynamic process that calls for intentional practice and ongoing self-awareness. Early on, one often finds uncertainty or even opposition. The selected one strives to learn to really trust their natural abilities while handling societal responses and inner misgivings. These uncertain times are exactly when the help of spiritual mentors or a community of people who share similar values may be crucial, as it offers a secure environment where the selected one may investigate and grow confidently using their talents. However, the utilization of these talents beyond the mere act of helping oneself. It is a call to utilize these abilities to assist the well-being of others and for the good of the earth generally. Selected persons are invited to use their abilities to promote love, healing, and understanding among others, therefore serving as agents of good change in their local communities. This alchemical method converts experience in activities deliberately aimed at communal well-being into compassionate services, therefore transforming the obstacles of existence. When the selected one embraces these skills as natural and essential components of their personality, the real mastery of spiritual talents is acquired. When he turned to the natural flow of life led by his capabilities, he acts naturally and connects with the divine wisdom coming from his abilities. They become as live links between the physical world and the spiritual realm, allowing everyone around to likewise connect and unleash their transformative power. When fully developed and used compassionately, spiritual talents produce a resonance that inspires and brings about changes not only in the life of the selected, but also in the fabric of the society to which they belong. This road of inquiry, acceptance, and service creates an enduring, deep, and profound mark that urges others to pursue the road of self-discovery and personal illumination. The path to include spiritual talents into our life is a continuous dance between the inside knowledge and the outside behavior. Challenges and tests that help us to improve our knowledge of these abilities and the way we use them will naturally arise along the road. Our ability to develop in our chosen job, continually discovering fresh ways to serve and contribute to the whole, depends on this ongoing process of adaptation and introspection. Every action we perform to deliberately embrace and use these abilities adds a great deal of knowledge and experience. They clearly serve not just for our own advantage, but also for inspiring major global changes in the surrounds. This knowledge helps us to behave with greater empathy, compassion, and feeling of responsibility, therefore motivating others to find and use their own spiritual abilities. We start to see how much we are entwined with the cosmos and all things when we relate with the knowledge our spiritual abilities provide. Gifts serve as reminders that we are part of something greater, and that our deeds, ideas, and intentions may affect and define this common reality. Aligning our everyday endeavors with the spiritual direction guiding us depends on first realizing this relationship. We see a shift in our relationship with others and ourselves as we get better at including our talents into our everyday life. Knowing that we are always backed by force majeure has helped us to become more confident in our abilities to overcome obstacles. As we witness our talents showing out in the world and inspiring a fresh drive to keep on our spiritual path, this confidence deepens. Every contact, every act of kindness, every educational opportunity deepens our awareness of our own capabilities and nature. We are motivated to look for chances to share our knowledge with those who might benefit from it and find fresh approaches to show our talents. This ongoing cycle of development and service changes us not just into conduits of love and light, but also into living models of what is feasible when we match our actual calling. Allowing ourselves to be totally directed by our spiritual abilities helps us to connect with the purest essence of our being, therefore bridging the divine from the human experience. Root us in a condition of grace and fluidity by this harmonic dance between the spiritual and the tangible. Knowing that every one of us has the capacity to be a force for good, we start a tsunami of change that echoes throughout our lives and lights the same light in others, therefore leaving a legacy of spiritual love and knowledge. For people impacted by spiritual abilities, manifesting service and purpose is an interesting step in their spiritual path. This is where powerful and motivating deeds in the outer world help to bring the deep thoughts and ideas that developed within alive. This phase is an irresistible spiritual need, as much as a rational development. For the selected, the service is the natural expression of its own character, not just a responsibility or sacrifice. Acting from this authenticity is just letting the relationship with the divine translate into concrete shows of love and compassion. This is so as they understand that everything is linked. Therefore, for others who are still sorting their own paths, they become sources of knowledge and inspiration as they help to develop communal awareness. These donations might differ substantially, from teaching, healing, and mentoring spiritually to participating in social justice projects, producing artwork, or discovering original means of expression. Every action reflects one's. Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with the path of the chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. Unique abilities in line with a shared goal, to let other people discover and pursue their own life goals. Every movement reflects a deliberate gift of inspiration and encouragement, generating waves of change that extend well beyond the reach of the selected one. Thus, the idea of purpose is the unseen thread that stitches all these individual actions into a bigger and more harmonic tapestry. Every action the selected ones do is guided by this inner compass. Often starting along roads that may appear difficult at first look, or that deviate from traditional societal norms, he maintains them in line with their higher principles and offers the fortitude needed to make bold choices. This alignment, guaranteed by the goal, guarantees that they stay grounded on their actual route, independent of challenges. Living in line with this goal results not only in the gratification of personal fulfillment, but also in a great degree of inner serenity and harmony. The selected ones discover as they travel on this road of manifestation of their path that every act of service increases the energy impact of their deeds, resonating in their life and drawing more souls ready to awaken to their own potentialities and gifts. This condition of being in which service and purpose are exactly connected has transforming power that permeates all behavior. Acting as a lighthouse, it shows people that a road of more spiritual connection is not only feasible, but also rather fulfilling. By their commitment and example, the selected ones open the path for a more aware and spiritually enlightened society, therefore inspiring a group awakening wherein their individual development benefits the whole. Acting through service and purpose has an immeasurable, long-lasting effect on the world as a whole, as well as for individuals who personally get it. We build a vivid network of light and healing that penetrates our shared life, as more people feel motivated to match their inner abilities with outside activities. Living their truth so truthfully, the selected ones assist to sow seeds for a day when more people would acknowledge and show their own inner divine. Such legacy is a priceless gift for all future generations, not just for the current age. Living in service is beautiful because of the resonance it generates, a quiet melody that touches the hearts of every person who crosses the path of the selected ones. This dedication to goals turns into a beacon directing people toward a life of satisfaction and significance. Each individual is asked to find what service and purpose mean to them within their particular experience of life and conscience. There is no one set roadmap. We therefore see that regardless of their size or scope, every act of service helps global awareness to flourish and spread. When we discuss service, we are not confined to grandiose deeds, even although they could be required and transforming. Often the most transforming power comes from the apparently little acts of kindness and presence. A real smile, a motivating phrase, or a pleasant deed might start major improvements in a person's life. True magic occurs in this area, where every contact becomes a chance to reflect the inner light back to the world. The service functions in a cycle of energies that feed back, so its influence goes beyond the group. Those who regularly say that by serving others experience an internal regeneration, a spiritual refreshment that provides even more vitality and motivation to keep on their path. When our talents are used for the benefit of others, there is a natural synergy that results from the close link between the goals of the person and the welfare of the society. The goal is a living, dynamic force that grows with the individual and deepens with every fresh experience and understanding, not a set endpoint. Embracing our life purpose helps us to be more open to the chances for development and knowledge that present themselves. Often seen as challenges, difficulties show themselves as useful masters, guiding us toward more dedication to our spiritual goal. They encourage us to investigate many sides of our life and challenge us to go beyond self-posted restrictions. By means of their ongoing dedication to service and goal, The selected ones build a legacy spanning many decades and generations. They sow transformation seeds that bloom long after their first acts were carried out. As it is shared, this spiritual legacy, the expression of love in its most pure form, multiplies. When we consider the influence the selected ones have on our planet, it is clear they not only set an example, but also open the path for an age of more awareness. This collective spiritual awakening has great potential to expose a reality in which love, compassion, and peace are not merely ideal to be persecuted, but also actual events to be experienced and honored by everybody. When expressing service and purpose, the selected ones become tools of a world in which every human being is urged to discover their own inner light and share it without regard to fear or limitation. They so act as accelerators for a worldwide change that enriches every individual soul and simultaneously strengthens the fabric of mankind overall. In the end, the selected ones create an attitude of togetherness and love that cuts beyond all boundaries, whether cultural, social, or spiritual, by means of selfless devotion and unquestionable dedication to the mission. Reflecting heavenly light in every idea, word, and deed, this is the actual legacy of the chosen ones, a life lived in perfect harmony with the cosmos.